everyone, and welcome to my channel. So today I decided I wanted to start a reflections series on my channel, a chit chat series on my channel. And in order to do this, I'm really having to push aside. Okay. In order to do this, I really have to push aside any sense of perfectionism that I have going on, telling me that, girl, you can't make no video. Look at you, girl, you ain't got no makeup on. Girl, you can't make no video, your babies are awake and it's loud. There's a lot of things going on in my mind about what needs to happen in order for me to make this video, and unfortunately those things are not realistic. I cannot have a quiet house every time I sit here and I want to talk to you guys. I cannot wait until nap time because otherwise I would never get anything done. So I'm just gonna show up and hope for the best. So today I want to talk about ways to stay motivated on your flylady journey, and not just flylady journey. I think this really can apply to like any goal that you have. I feel like most of the things in life that are worth fighting for require consistent daily effort. Well, okay, some things require consistent weekly effort. You know what I'm trying to say. A lot of the sweetest things in life require that you show up and you get in the work and you take a chunk out of it, or you move forward a little bit every single day, or at least most days. And so I feel like it's no different with working through a flylady journey. We have to find ways to stay motivated and to keep ourselves going. Because if you're like me, like some days you wake up and you're like, yes, let's get this show on the road. Other days you're like, not so much. And so I'm gonna talk to you guys about things that I've been doing and things that I've learned about myself that helps me stay motivated, and also share some ideas, things that I thought worked for me before I had to learn how to be consistent and to work with myself. And they actually don't work for me. They don't work for my personality type, but maybe they might work for yours. And so I want to share some of those things with you today, and in the hopes of just kind of, you know, giving you guys a little bit of encouragement and sharing what I've been learning on my journey. At the end of the day, it's really just about knowing yourself, knowing what makes you tick, knowing what inspires you, knowing what gets you moving, and finding ways for me to bring those into whatever goal it is I'm trying to accomplish. So number one, list. I love lists, but I've learned in the process of having to show up and be consistent daily, I've learned that I need two different types of lists. It depends how I'm feeling. If I am feeling like unmotivated, like I really don't want to do this, I've found that my mind has a way of convincing me that tasks take longer than they actually do. So I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to, like, this is going to take too long. This is going to take all day. I'd rather not. And I can really talk myself out of doing something because I think it's just going to be a huge time commitment. So for days when I'm like that, I find that it works best if I have a nice little short list that just gets straight to the point. And you guys have seen me type that list. I'll post a link right here so you guys can see me creating a list like that. But on those lists, it's literally just the flylady routines. Hotspots, shine your sink, swish and swipe. Like there's like 5 or 6 things, and seeing something that short just makes me feel like, okay, I can just do this, girl. It's just 15 minutes. Show up, do what you need to do. You got this, boo. And that's really helpful to me. But then there are some days where I need a long list. And so for the longer list, what I do, especially with my evening routine, is I type out the things that I was going to do anyway, and I map out what order it's best to get it done. And then I go in and I find places to fill in flylady routines where it makes sense. And I really need a long list on those days where I'm feeling like, oh my God, this is too much. There's so much to do. Oh my God, I'm feeling like really anxious and frustrated. And what I found is sometimes I just feel like I need somebody to tell me what to do. Where do I start? How do I get this done? And it's like, yes, girl, guess what? You already planned this out. You already told yourself what to do. Just focus on one task at a time and move down this list. And if you trust the process, it will all be done before you know it. It will all come together. So you don't worry about, you know, strategizing, don't worry about multitasking, don't worry about coordinating, don't worry about, no, I don't have to worry about any of it. It's all been mapped out, and I can just follow step by step by step and know that I don't have to think about the big picture. I can just focus on that one small bite and it will all come together. Another thing that I like to do is music. I love listening to music. I'm such a huge music person, but I've learned that I need different types of music depending on what mood I am. It's what mood I'm in, and it's crazy when you have to do the same thing over and over and over, day in, day out, what you learn about yourself. So I learned that I really like fast music, you know, get my dance mood. You know, your girl gets down, okay? Yeah. But I learned that I really like listening to fast music when I'm feeling like in a pretty happy, energetic, motivated mood. Like fast dance music gets me going. But then I've learned that when I'm feeling overwhelmed and I'm feeling like there's a lot to get done, fast music is actually not what works best for me. I need something that tells me that it's okay and that we're peaceful and that this is a zen environment and everything's gonna be fine. So I've learned that I actually like listening to classical music and piano and things that are very calm and mellow, and that seems to help me have like a calm and mellow energy, and it helps me work through my routines in a way that feels good to me. I didn't know that, you guys. I didn't know that until, like I said, having to show up and do this stuff. So this is by far my number one thing to do that just helps me, like I just love doing this, but listening to a podcast. And now that I think about it, I can't believe that I didn't used to do this before flylady. I'm somebody who loves learning. I love listening to ideas. I love reading books and just be taken to new places. And one thing that I think is so cool about having your routines is that once you do the mental work, like mapping it out, planning what you're gonna do, when you need to do it, it's like your mind can be allowed to check out and go to a different place. And then it's like your body can take over and do the motions while you're like in daydream land or in la la land. And so that is something I've really been enjoying, especially when I don't feel like cleaning. I can really show up and show out if I have a podcast on, and that's, like I said, my number one motivating thing for me to do to get my work done. Another thing that, now this one doesn't work so much for me, but flylady likes creating games. If you guys have not checked out her channel, I don't watch her videos like every day, but sometimes I will check in, and she likes to make cleaning fun. So she has like games that she'll do. She'll like roll the dice, and you have 2 minutes to work on particular areas in your home. So that could be good for people who like finding ways to make their routine more exciting. But here's one that I kind of have a love-hate relation with. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with, and that is timing myself. I've learned that I have to be timing myself to help myself stay focused on one task and not jump from task to task. That is the benefit of timing myself. What I used to do before flylady is I would time myself and have like a list of stuff and be like, okay, you have 10 minutes to get all this done. You have 15 minutes to get all this done, an hour to get all this done. And what I've learned is that actually creates anxiety in me, because I feel like I have to commit to finishing that list within that time. And if I don't get everything done, I feel like a failure and like I didn't do a good job and I didn't get enough done. So, but for some people that might work. So that might be something that could help you get going, is having timed cleanings. But for me, I love timed cleanings because it lets me know that I am focused on this one task for this amount of time. Because I think before I would easily jump from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing. And sometimes it's just better to like set your timer and focus on one thing and get it done from beginning to end, or to do whatever you can. Timers also help me to not overdo it. If I feel like I'm getting to a point where I'm like, I just want to spend all day doing this, and I spend all day working on one task only to not have energy to do my nighttime routines, or to not even want to do anything the next day. So timers help me keep me from getting overwhelmed. And so I find it's motivating. It just depends what's going on with my self-talk. If I'm racing myself or feeling guilty about not getting stuff done, that doesn't work. But if I'm just using it as a tool to stay focused on one task, love it. And another thing that can be helpful is getting yourself dressed in the morning. Sometimes as moms, we have this habit of making sure that we're putting everybody before ourselves, which I feel like is a good thing. It's noble, but you know, it's like you can only give so much if you're not pouring into yourself and taking care of yourself. And so for me, I noticed that when I wake up in the morning, you can't tell today, but when I wake up in the morning, I put a little effort into myself, make sure I get my shower in and I'm feeling hygienic and I get my, you know, makeup on and have a nice outfit. I noticed that I just feel a little happier. There's a little extra pep in my step. If somebody comes and knocks on my door, I don't feel that dread of like, oh my God, I look like, you know, like crap. And so, you know, those emotions are important. It's important to be in tune with how you're feeling. And so if getting dressed in the morning makes you feel a little better and gives you a little pep to your step and gives you a little positive energy, use that as motivation to do what you need to do and to help yourself progress in your goals. Sorry for the lighting, friends. Sorry for looking cray cray. It's the end of the night, but there were 2 more things I thought about that I could help with motivation, and I wanted to share those with you guys today. Number 1, on days where I feel like there's just a lot going on, or like I have a pretty hectic, crazy evening ahead of me, one thing that I do, especially if I have a lot of time to work on those goals, is I just break it apart. I do 15 minutes at the top of the hour. So like if I know, for example, everything needs to be done by 5, at noon, I'll work for the first 15 minutes, take a break. At 1, I'll work for the first 15 minutes, take a break. And I just keep doing that. And when I'm on my break, I'm doing something that's exciting to me, that gets me energized, maybe working on a YouTube video or reading or spending time with my kids. And then I'm like, when that timer goes off, I'm like, hey, I need to go work for 15 minutes. Then I can take a break. And that's been really helpful to me, because even if I don't finish doing everything or knocking off all my goals, it gives me such a huge head start whenever the time comes for me to actually do the activity that I was doing. And that helps me with motivation, because I'm balancing things that I don't like with things that I do like. Flylady has something that's completely opposite, and this is more for crisis cleaning. Like if somebody unexpectedly is like, hey, I'm gonna be staying the night, you know, and your house is a disaster and you need to pull it together. So it's kind of the opposite. So you work 15 minutes in the kitchen, 15 minutes in the living room, 15 minutes in the guest room, and then you take a break for 15 minutes. So the idea is just to do 15 minutes, but don't spend all of your time cleaning in one area. Jump from place to place to place. And so 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 15 minutes there. And then the last 15 minutes, get you a hot cup of tea and take a break. And once your break is over, you get up and do it again. So it's kind of like interval training. Interval training is like when you do a lot of high intensity work, but you take breaks. And so those breaks allow you to keep your energy up and to sustain yourself longer. And you can go a lot further when you take that break and just take that moment to decompress, and then you can go again. You can clean for much longer than you could if you just kind of tried to push through and did it continuously. And I think the whole idea is if you try to push through and do it continuously, just like with interval training, you'll burn out a lot faster and you won't be able to keep up that kind of momentum for very long. But if you make sure to have a break in there and you make sure you're mixing up your environments, that will help you be able to do what you need to do and do it longer. So that's called crisis cleaning. All right, back to the video. So I think it's so important to talk about this, not only from a flylady perspective, but for achieving any goal that you want to achieve. As I mentioned at the beginning, most things that in life that are really sweet, that are really good, just require consistent effort, consistently showing up. And I've learned these things about myself, and I've learned it because of my cleaning routine, but I've been able to apply it into other areas of my life and other things, other areas where I want to grow in. And so that's been really cool, is just learning about myself, what makes me tick and what makes me feel like getting going and doing the work, when otherwise, you know, before maybe I would just be like, I don't really want to do that today. And so having those bite-sized goals in the form of my list, matching the music according to the moods that feel right to me, audiobooks and podcasts. Last night I was working on, I'm trying to design like printables and stuff like that for my flylady routine, and I really didn't want to do it, but I just turned on some podcasts, and you know, before I knew it, that podcast was done, and so was my work. And so it's just crazy the things that you learn on your flylady journey, how you can use it and apply it into other goals and areas of your life. So I forgot to ask you guys, so yeah, Let me know what works for you guys. What keeps you guys motivated, not only on your fly lady routines, but doing anything that requires you to show up every day or consistently. How do you guys stay motivated? And what are ways that you can take, what are ways that you have been able to take something that you love that's outside of cleaning and mix it with your cleaning goals to help yourself stay motivated? I'd be very curious to learn, because I'm always looking for ideas for not only my fly lady routine, but other areas in my life where I'm also trying to grow. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next one.